Welcome to today's welding tutorial. In this video, we're going to be walking you through the process of TIG welding a 2-inch stainless steel pipe. Whether you're a beginner or looking to refine your technique, we've got you covered. For this joint, we're going to bridge tack it with a 2.5mm gap, a bridge tack where we add material just like you can see on the screen now, and all we're going to do is build that across until they eventually join up. The reason we are using bridge tacks instead of root tacks is so that we don't interfere with our machined prep. This is common practice in stainless steel pipework, as you don't have to purge the pipe when tacking it. It also makes it easier to weld as you don't have to grind into and out of a tack. In our setup, we then have to purge the pipe with 100% argon. The main reason for this is that stainless steel, unlike mild steel, is prone to oxidization when exposed to air at high temperatures. So purging it with argon ensures that we've got a clean root on the inside of our pipe. We're welding the root with 65 amps using 1.6mm 316L stainless steel TIG wire. The purge was set inside with a low flow rate due to the size of the pipe. If you have a bigger diameter pipe, you will need to increase the flow rate accordingly. We're welding this pipe in the 3 o'clock to the 12 o'clock position, continually rolling it as we go around. We are creating a keyhole formation by melting both sides of the prep so we have a visible open hole in the root at all times. We are feeding wire in at a consistent rate, making sure we don't overfeed the wire, compromising your keyhole or creating a big keyhole, which means you will have to put more wire into the root, which will result in an overfill in the root and won't be consistent. On the other side, you don't want to put too much heat into the weld pool, causing it to become uncontrolled and collapse, which is known in the industry as blow through. When we come to the end of each pass, we then need to grind to thin the ends of our run, known as feathering. This is in order to tie in our runs and make sure our root runs thin, so we can fuse in correctly at the end of each run, maintaining the correct amount of penetration throughout. This way we make it less likely of not penetrating or fusing into our previous run. As we reach the joint area where the two pieces of the pipe meet, you need to make sure the base metals are fully fused together. We achieve this by feathering the edge of where we're joining up to and travelling at a slower speed. This is going to make sure that we have a smooth transition when joining up. As you can see, we've achieved full penetration throughout our root run, and our purge has given us full coverage, producing a clean and coke-free root pass. Moving on to our second run, known as the hot pass, it is important we keep our purge on to keep our weld clean. If you turn off the purge on this run, you may cause surface coking and ruin all that hard work you've just done. It is important to leave your purge in for at least the first couple of runs to ensure the integrity of your weld. For the hot pass, we have turned up our amps a little to 75. We can't go too high on this as we don't want to disturb or overheat our root, causing blow through. We're weaving this run to ensure we fuse into both side walls, adding a consistent amount of wire to maintain the same amount of joint fill up, giving us a flat, smooth welding profile. We are maintaining a consistent torch travel and a steady, even wire feed. This is essential for achieving a high quality weld. If you've seen automated TIG welding, you will know how even and neat the weld ripple formation is and how consistent the runs are. This is our goal as welders and the precision we are looking to replicate. Moving on to the flushing run, we now have a goal of trying to fill the weld so that it is just under flush. We need to ensure this run is consistently flat and has no high or low spots, as this will make it more difficult to put our final capping pass over the top. We're walking the cup and adding wire to both sides whilst maintaining a consistent speed across the joint to ensure that the weld stays flat. This is a critical run where many welders struggle. Defects like lack of fusion on the sidewalls or pulling excess material into the weld pool can cause the edges to widen, making it more difficult to maintain a straight edge, which we use as a reference line to follow when applying the final capping run. So having finished this run, we can see that we've got a flat surface which is consistent and allows us now to move on to our final run. As welders, we've got two options: walking the cup around the joint or freehanding. For this weld, I opted to walk the cup as I'm a little bit out of practice, so I went with the cheap method to play it safe. However, when using this method, you've got to be cautious of contamination issues, like adding debris or ceramic into your weld, which can affect the quality of your work. Remember, attention to detail, proper heat control and consistency are key to achieving high quality TIG welds. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like the video and hit the notification bell for more welding tutorials. Enjoyed this video? You'll love the next one where we complete a TIG root and mix it up with some MMA welding to fill the joint in the horrible 6G position. Check this one out. Keep practicing and stay safe.